Hello everyone, welcome to my studio. Today I'm going to talk about the design of the denial dress for Alice Asylum, which is the third game by Mcgee. Personally, I have a history with yellow dresses. I used to paint them a lot. One of many paintings with girls with yellow dresses. In 2016, I actually thought about painting the real Alice from the actual book, and when I found out that the original dress was yellow, I knew that I just had to paint her. So the information that came from there, I just kept it in my mind, and when the opportunity came in creating this dress, I knew that I had to make her yellow. And you can see that I took a lot of things from the original design, like, I don't know what this is, but I took it at the back. And also I wanted to take it because it gave her a bit more volume and she looks a bit less sickly. She doesn't look as thin as she is actually. It gives her a bit more of a bust. Of course I took the lines and I literally took the apron almost as it is, but with our shape that everything is supposed to look kinda the same. And I took the bow on her head, but of course I gave it a tiny skull, and I removed this line. I don't like the way this thing looks, so I just removed that. I gave her a bit of more of a posh look on her head, a bit more volume here. I thought it looks just much better because she should have big hair. And of course the classic bow on the back. We will talk on the back after I will explain the whole front. When I thought about what is the concept of denial, I thought about what it meant to me, and for me it was something that you actually ignore, so you can't really see it because you don't want to see it. So that's why I actually made the front extremely perfect and the back very destroyed. Now when you look at the front, you can see this thing. No one will ever walk around with a tear in their sock in a place like that. But I thought it's a very nice place to give some kind of hint of that something is wrong. When I thought about her face, I thought about unkept eyebrows. I think unkept eyebrows look younger. I think they look softer, they make the face look softer. And I also thought about color schemes, because when the dress is yellow, the opposite of yellow is purple. So I gave her some purple makeup. Now I'm going to zoom in her face, and I'm going to show you what I did here. I gave her on the inside of her lid something that is a bit darker purple with a bit of shimmer. The outside, something that is a bit tinted more brown but still has some kind of purple inside of it. I always give the inner eye a bit of a flare, so it's a very light blue, almost white. The lips have some kind of pink, but it's a bit more purple than pink, if you'll notice. The lip is actually like painted. Let's say this is the lips, okay, something like that. I actually painted the lip like that, so it will look a bit more doll-like. So if you want to do this lip, you will need to go in like something like out of 1920s. And the cheeks are kind of pink, but it's still with a purplish undertone. It's still from the same family as this tone. It's not totally different. If you'll notice, it looks kind of not very pinkish. It's a bit purpley. It's a bit very pink, dark pink. And with the unkept eyebrows, I think that it makes everything looks a bit younger, a bit softer, a bit nicer. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is something that I made, which nobody got, which is the crescent-shaped curved silver thing. The symbol of this world is moon, and the metal is silver. I don't really remember why. There is a reason, but I just don't remember it. So I just went with it. Of course, I gave her a moon here and moons on her shoes. But I also wanted to give something that is smart. So I made these two crescent-shaped moons on her arms. The whole point was, when you will see it at the front, it will look like a crescent moon, a metal silver crescent moon. And then when you will see it on her 45-degree angle, you will see it a bit fuller because it's crescent. It's still a circle. So it will become fuller and fuller until it will become a full circle. So this is actually like a tiny ball on her arm. And nobody got that. Nobody understood what I designed here and what I tried to do. And it's some kind of failure, but I hope that maybe inside the game we can make it so it will be visually interesting, because technically if you will walk around and you can see this thing from all sides, my plan should work. And of course it has some strings connecting it with another metal thing that is holding the whole metal thing. The apron is basically a direct copy from Alice in Wonderland. It basically looks exactly the same. The only difference is these parts where I added more fluffy things. So the whole thing will look a bit more fluffy. And on the sleeves I gave it a bit more white here, so it will make sense with the white color. She has a color here, you just can't see it on the angle, but she has a color. So I just gave it that. I didn't give on the bottom white because I didn't want to destroy this area with the texture of the asylum walls. We will get to that in a moment. Let's finish with the apron. The symbols are endless love. I thought about alchemy symbols, but nothing really fit. Also, I wanted to give her a doll kind of inspired look, so I gave it a stitched look, like the stitched dress. I don't really like stitches unless it has a point. If you make a lot of large stitches, usually things look kind of lazy. I wanted this dress to look like someone will actually wear it out in public and not like a costume. And that was important for me. So I didn't want to go everything with stitches, and generally I'm against that, so I tried to keep it as simple as possible. And specifically here, the childish concept of endless love I thought is just fitting, so that's why I went for it. The asylum padded walls, most of you guessed it already, but that the walls of the asylum are actually on her dress, but most of you don't know why. It's not because she's only insane, it's also because this texture is actually a hint of an armor. Originally, the texture is actually, you can see that the padded walls are actually squared. I don't really like that. It's not very photogenic. It just looks like a grid. So instead I went with the more glamorous version, which is like in furniture, diamond shaped. And of course it's Wonderland, so diamonds kind of make sense that things will be in diamond shaped. Why make it square when can you make it diamond? So I did that, but then I thought about it. The metal of this world is silver, so why not give it some silver rivets and silver strings? The concept of this area is actually that the bottom is an armor, because there is a metal holding everything in place. So the dress is an armor and something is actually protecting her. So when she is in the asylum, this is the symbolism for asylum, she's actually being protected from the madness that is her life, that is her trauma, which is something very horrible and she's trying to run away from, which is again the concept for denial. So I thought to make it metal, because that metal, that armor is protecting her from everything. The last thing that you can see on her outfit is the shoes. I gave her classic doll shoes. The reason that I did that is because I always thought about what is to be a woman, what is to be a girl, and what were your rights as a girl or as a woman. Are you allowed to think? Are you supposed to look like something? Are you supposed to act like something, to behave like someone? What it is to be a lady at those times? So instead of giving her an adult shoe, I gave her a doll shoe because she's supposed to be perfect, she's supposed to be beautiful, and at the same time, she's supposed to be very plain. These shoes are not beautiful. There is nothing unique about them. They're very generic. They don't have almost any substance, except for specifically when I added the moon shape at the back. And of course, I gave her a bit of a heel because the shoes generally in Alice Madness Returns and in American McGee's Alice, generally the shoes are very modern. So I can't make them very, very flat. It doesn't make sense. So I did give them a bit of a heel, but generally it's a doll shoe, which a doll shoe is something that is very dull. Now that was the front. So I'm going to go through that on the back. And the reason that I actually burnt at the bottom and why it's your fault is written there. The bow on the back, of course, on the front it's very, very clean. But at the back, where she can't really see it, it's dirty. Every skull that I use, I only use the shapes of the soldiers. So we have Spade here. This is actually Spade. Because every bow will have a skull in the middle. That is a line that we used, so I'm going to keep it as much as possible. The back, again, where she can't see it, is dirty. It's destroyed. Each of these skulls represent a family member. Mom, Lizzie, Dad, and of course they have shape. I don't remember how this is called, so that's life. Heart and Diamond. They're screaming in pain. That's why the mouth is so open. They're screaming for her to save yourself, Alice. Save us. Get out of the house, Alice. Everything. This represents they're screaming while they're burning alive. The bottom has pairs of fabrics, 2 for each skull, and the bow at the back is huge in comparison, so it will make sense proportionally to the 3 skulls. The back here, of course, it says it's your fault. A lot of people originally said that the idea that it's written here, it's your fault, is kind of lame, but my thought was Alice moves, so it's not a still image, so when you will see it in game, hopefully this thing will become a blurred out texture, so you can see it something like that. So you will see something, but you can't really read it unless you actually pause the game and she just stands there and specifically the light hits like that so you can see it. But this whole area will be a bit darkened because there is shadow here because of the layers. I burned this area. And why did I do that? Because this is the armor of the asylum. This is supposed to protect her from her madness, from something. And once I take that out and I show her trauma, this is the thing that she's trying to deny. This is the evil. This is the trauma. This is the asylum that is trying to protect her, trying to heal her unsuccessfully. So I hope this was sufficient. I hope that you got the idea of what is the asylum, because if you read the original tiny booklet that came with American McGee's Alice, you actually know that Alice was in a catatonic state when she was in the asylum, and people tried to help her, and doctors tried to see what's wrong with her. She had support, but they didn't know how to help her. I thought that she had nice people, so maybe the asylum for her wasn't all that bad. So the outside can look like the asylum because it tried to protect her from her own madness. It doesn't say that they succeeded, but at least they tried. Now, this is something that I tell all cosplayers ever. If you have questions about what kind of fabric to use and anything else that you have in your mind to ask, write me to my email, write me to my Instagram, write me. I will answer any question I have. I'm so humbled that you are trying to make this as accurate as possible, and I'm very, very humbled. So really, if you have any questions about materials, if you have any questions about whatever, just feel free to ask. I hope that you like this video, and tell me what you think and what I can improve in my next video, and what else you would like to hear me talk about. Thank you for watching. Bye!